Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your January 2023 tarot card and astrology readings. Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you all so much for being here. For those of you who are new, my name is Jane. I'm so grateful to each and every one of you for joining with me on this wonderful new journey this year. So as always, these monthly readings are separated into two segments. So the first segment is the tarot card reading, which is much more intuitive. And the second portion is the astrology section. Now, please feel free to watch these for your sun, moon, or rising sign. However, I do recommend your rising sign for the astrology portion, just so you can get a more accurate viewpoint on what your transits are actually going to be. And don't forget that if you are a member on my website, janeinternational.com, that you'll be able to log on and access the comprehensive readings as always. And if you're not a member and would like to join, you are more than welcome to do that as well. Or you're also free to just do a one-time single purchase of the comprehensive reading, just like we've always done. So let's go ahead and get into these readings for the month. Thank you again. Happy New Year, and I'll see you in just a sec. Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your January 2023 tarot card reading. So let's take a look here, see what comes through for you for January 2023. Okay, clearly that one wants to come out. So I'm kind of feeling like the energy of solitude and contemplation. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to not be busy and not be doing things. I think for you with Mars in that second house, and in January, Mars will be going direct on the 12th. There's a lot that you're going to want to really push forward and push through. And yet there is still a lot of assessment going on. You're assessing, is this for me? Is this right? Is this the best way? But I also, just to recommend something, I wouldn't hold off on experimenting, because just contemplating is not really going to bring you the aha moment that you're probably looking for. You're going to have to try a bunch of stuff out, right? Because thinking, well, will I like this, is a lot different than doing it and figuring out whether you like it or not. But it doesn't, you'll still be in a really receptive mode, which is good. It's always good to be receptive because you're open to change and evolution. You'll be open to new things that come your way. I think that's always a great place to be, regardless of who you are, whatever the astrological environment, doesn't matter. And I do sense that you are being guided up to some kind of a higher plane. And all this time when you've been thinking, well, how do I get up there, right? How do I get up there financially? How do I get up there with a romantic relationship? Like whatever the level up means for you, you are going to receive guidance for that. And you're going to have some pretty significant epiphanies. And I think being a Taurus, now I can say this, I've got a lot of fixed energy in my chart. I've got a North Node and Lilith in Taurus. All fixed energies have to deal with the fact that they're just a little bit slower to evolve, okay? Just a little bit slower. And maybe this is something that you're kind of looking back on and saying, wow, I didn't realize that I could have been doing this the whole time. But please do not beat yourself up on that kind of stuff. It's totally not worth it. The reason you hadn't already done it is probably because you weren't ready. So it's fine. Okay, you're ready now, and that's what counts. That's what matters. So only looking toward the future is going to be your best bet. Beautiful. We have the Emperor, which is, of course, a very authoritative energy. He certainly knows what he wants, he knows where he's going, he knows what he's doing. And if we approach our own lives with a certain degree of authority and confidence, right? If we can exude confidence and kind of walk into a room like we freaking own the place, things are going to start going well for us, right? It's like the better things are going for you, the more likely good things are to come to you. That's kind of like law of attraction 101, wheel of fortune type of stuff. If the momentum is already going in a positive direction, it's easier for better things to come. So with the Emperor, we have to keep that momentum going. There has to be a degree of discipline in that. Okay, there has to be a degree of discipline in maintaining the momentum and the growth that we're experiencing. And maybe that is a new normal for Taurus. You know, what's going on in the environment? This is going to be a court card. What's going on in the environment? The Knight of Swords. Okay. You know, I actually immediately got a good feeling from the Knight of Swords. I know for me, he can be really tricky. I either really don't like him or I really love him. In this case, I really love him. This to me is people who genuinely want to rush to be a part of what you have going on. So it could be romantic partners coming in. It could be clients coming in. It could be employers. I mean, but like, you're in the power seat here. You're in the position of authority. You have what they want. And this is not like a power game. This is not anything like that. It's just, maybe this is finally Taurus stepping into the place where they know they deserve to be. Owning it. There's a switch. There's some kind of a switch that is flipping. And this probably has a lot to do with the fact that Uranus is going direct. And that portal, that North Node Uranus portal in your sign is closing. Uranus goes direct on the 22nd. Okay. So that switch is flipping. That portal is closing, which means you have to be here. You don't have any time to really waste here. So you're going to be pushing yourself to the limits of that authority, positioning yourself as someone who really knows what the heck is going on, who knows what the heck they want, who knows what they offer, who knows their value. If you position yourself like that, it's no wonder so many people are going to want to be a part of it. That's not surprising at all. Okay, let's take a look at the 9-card block here. Hold on one second. Okay. Empress reversed. World reversed. And Ace of Coins. Okay. So I'm kind of favoring the Emperor over the Empress. So that more masculine energy is more favorable for you right now. You might be really picking up on the Mars energy, okay? Also, you've got Venus in the 10th. She's coming into Aquarius, which is a masculine sign. Your ruling planet, obviously Venus, coming into a masculine sign. So I do think the more masculine components of life is a priority. Your ambition, your path, your goals, you know, sort of kind of, we can think of like penetrating the future, right? You're unstoppable here. And yet there is a notion of penetrating the unknown as well. Going places you've never gone before. This is not about comfort with the Empress reversed, okay? This is not about staying in the place where you feel safe. It's not about the safety zone. Maybe that's why you need a lot of contemplation here. Maybe it's not even contemplation. Maybe it's you just really psyching yourself up and being like, okay, we're going to do this. You know, kind of like a football huddle with yourself, okay? So you got to push past here. It's what the universe needs from you, and I think it's what you want from you as well. And with the world in the reversal, I actually don't mind the reversal here. It doesn't feel stagnant to me. It actually feels a little bit faster. Sometimes the world, because it is a card that's ruled by Saturn, can draw things out. And when you draw things out like that, it can feel like it takes forever, but like I say, that portal is closing, Uranus North Node. And I've talked a lot about that Uranus North Node portal as being a period of time since August, that period of time where change, like we just can't help but want change, because that North Node is trying to get us to greater degrees of abundance, right? North Node in Taurus. It wants more money. It wants a greater degree of self-worth. It wants that boost. And it wants to do it fast and quickly because Uranus is involved. Uranus is also not a long drawn out energy. So if you tap into your more masculine traits, things can really start moving, and you're going to be surprised. Like, here's someone who I think genuinely wants to give you money, or who genuinely wants to give you an opportunity. I mean, you're going to be receiving handouts, quote unquote. I'm not saying you're not providing anything, but it's almost going to feel like a handout. Like, maybe this is a lot easier than I thought it ever could be. Wow, it's easier to make that money. Wow, it's easier to go get a job. It's easier to start a business. It's easier to put myself out there romantically than I thought. That's weird. Maybe you were putting so much emphasis and stress on something that you didn't realize that it was like more of an inevitability. It's what would inevitably happen if you just kind of raised your standards. And that's all it took. Just depends on what you stand for and what you don't, what you accept and what you don't. And when you start really asking for what you're worth and what you genuinely feel you deserve, or what's in line with your ultimate self-concept, if you can do that, you're going to have people lining up around the block to work with you, to be with you, to talk to you, to get your guidance and your counsel. Page of Wands. Star. Yeah, I do think this, I'm going to pull that card next, but I don't want to push it or turn it over quite yet. The star is a really beautiful notion, okay? It's the limitlessness of who and what we are. And it's important that you view the world in a limitless kind of way. There are no limits in terms of how much money you can make. And we have very clear examples of that. Elon Musk, for example, okay? The owner of Alibaba, Jeff Bezos, Rothschild, how many examples do you need? I'm not saying they're all the greatest people, but there is a limit, there is no limit to what you can earn and what you can make. And that limitless potential in the external world is a direct reflection of your own internal limitlessness. And the masculine, yes, he really, really enjoys penetrating the external world and going out there and creating, carving new paths and trailblazing. He loves doing that. But he also does that internally as well, always carving new paths within himself, always challenging himself as well. So the more and more he challenges himself, the more opportunities are presented to him. And that's being made very clear here with the Ace of Coins. And that Page of Wands is a really, it doesn't mean you have to put a lot of pressure on yourself, and it doesn't mean this has to be hard. In fact, I actually don't think it's hard. The challenges are not blood, sweat, and tears, everything is falling apart challenges. It's you challenging your self-worth. Like, if you're looking for a job and you're like, well, maybe I think I could get, $150,000 a year. Okay, $150,000, that's what you think you can get. Okay, so you start looking and looking and looking, and then you start realizing, no, maybe I can get $250,000. So that's what you ask for, and that's the standard, because that's how you value you. So you raise your price, you raise your standard, and chances are something in line with that is going to show up for you. Now, I'm just using that as an example, but you have to go higher. And it's just a matter of changing your mind. That's all it is. There's nothing you actually have to do. You just change your mind. And Page of Wands is a fun and enthusiastic, and yes, he's a little passionate and playful, and he just wants to go and play and experiment, and he wants to be curious, and he wants to see what's out there. He wants to see what's out there for him. To me, this is a really Jupiterian, Mercurial quality. Like, if we were to mix those two together, that would be the epitome of the Page of Wands. He's very much, what's out there in a more abundant way, and he sees so much abundance out there in the world. And he's not afraid to go after it. He is not afraid to learn about it. He's not afraid to adjust and adapt. There's no like resistance with a page ever. None of the pages give resistance. They're like children. They're just open. So then we have the Queen of Wands in the reversal. I don't think this is you, okay? I think this is, it may be you in that it was an old version, or it's the very thing that you are shedding, right? It's like shedding your skin. But I think it is being mirrored back to you by someone else. And this is someone that you actually see so much potential in them, and they don't see it in themselves. And this is an interesting notion, because when you do that, with your contemplative energy over here, it's like, well, maybe that's me too. Maybe other people can see so much potential in me and I don't see it. And what's happening you toward them is happening with other people toward you. This can be really helpful. This can help you a lot, because you start to see how simple it is and how straightforward it is, and how kind of easy it is to be fearless. Being fearless, it's also not complicated. It's just a matter of decision. You either decide to let your fear win or you don't. And you can see that this is someone who's letting their fear win, and you decide that that's not what you want. So you don't. So you ask for the $250,000 a year, right? That's the fearlessness right there. Just asking for more. Eight of Cups in the reversal. Let's pull out the other two. Temperance reversed. And the Chariot. Okay, well, I'm loving the Chariot. Like, I don't know that right now you need temperance. I don't know that you need balance. I actually think maybe there is an element of there's an extreme nature. Now, what I mean by that, like if you have a new project that you're wanting to accomplish, okay, you're wanting to finish, you may need to really obsess about that until it's done. You may need to dedicate a ton and not move on until it's done. That's also a really masculine trait, and it can be stubborn and it can be fixed, but why not use your fixed nature to good use? And I think when Venus comes into Aquarius on the 2nd, she's also going to be in a fixed sign, all right? So what you value is sustaining. What you value is persistence. And we're going to value our persistence even that much more. And then the energy of Capricorn, which is in a beautiful trining aspect with your Taurus placements, that trine is going to add a lot of assistance and a lot of easy flow for you. So the initiating cardinal quality of Capricorn mixed with the fixed energy of Aquarius with Venus and Saturn. We also have Jupiter in Aries, which is also cardinal. So we have this beautiful fixed cardinal thing happening. We do still have Mars in mutable Gemini, but that's neither here nor there. Not a part of this conversation, okay? Well, I mean, at least Mars is making things happen. You know, at least there's that desire for movement. And then we initiate and we begin new things, and then we finish them with the fixed energies, okay? Or we keep them going anyway. We stay focused. We don't lose and fluctuate and give up. Like, that's a more mutable sign type thing. But I look at this 8 of Cups, and it's like, you're not moving on until it's done. And you don't need to practice moderation here. I need you to go all in on something. I need you to invest wholeheartedly into something. And you need to dedicate your passion and your focus and your mental energy. And maybe there's even a little bit of a financial investment for some of you, not all of you. But if that's the case, I see it going really well with that Chariot. Whenever the Emperor comes out with a Chariot, it's a really, really, really good sign that things are going to work out great, because you actually are in the driver's seat here. I'm not seeing a lot of like universal miracles and all that kind of stuff. We got to save that for like Aquarius and Pisces seasons, Pisces season specifically. Even Aries season can sometimes be like that as well. Where there's a lot more magic in the air and a lot more universal, like the cosmos, God, spirit is kind of providing things for us. But right now, the universe is waiting on us to make the change so that it can adjust around the things we're doing. All right? But I do see, and I have, the word acceleration has been fairly prominent in the readings over the past couple of months. And this reading is no exception. I am absolutely seeing a substantial acceleration for you in your goals. I see an unbreakability or an unshakability, if you will. And that's more than I think you could ever ask for. Okay. All right. So let's pull out the clarifiers. We're going to pull out a whole bunch of new cards, get more in depth in the reading. For those of you who are new here, these cards I cover in what I call the comprehensive reading. All of that information can be found in the description box and the comment thread down below. Just make sure you read a little bit and make sure you're selecting the best option for you, because you can subscribe or not subscribe. Both options are there for you. And there's also information about my Soul Seekers membership, which is really exciting and doing very, very well. And I'm so grateful to all of you who are a part of it. Okay, let's take a look, see what comes through for the Emperor. What else does Taurus need to know about the Emperor? Okay, out here, hold on. I'm going to try to do this as gently as I can. Okay, out here making waves. I love it. I love to see it. I don't mind that tower in the least, because with the star coming out, feels like, ooh, 3 of Cups. The star, it just feels like the exact things that you've been hoping for are starting to break through. It's like when the clouds start to break after a storm. Oh, beautiful. And then those sun rays start to shine through. And it's like the most magnificent thing you'll ever see, right? We have the 8 of Wands. This is for the environment. And then we have the Queen of Swords as well. Excellent. All right. So, oh, hold on. I didn't put in the reversals for these. Hold on one second. Let me just shuffle those in real quick. So now let's take a look at this Empress. What else does Taurus need to know about this Empress card? Taurus, what else do you need to know? 4 of Cups reversed. 10 of Coins, yes. And the Page of Cups, the World. Knight of Cups. Love the optimism coming through with that. Ooh, another star. And I like the accelerating quality, so that adds to this star, the positivity of the star card with the 7 of Coins. 7 of Swords reversed. The Knight of Coins. And the 7 of Cups. Okay, some interesting feelings around the Ace of Coins, meaning to receive that Ace of Coins is kind of stirring something up in you. It's maybe bothering you, but like in a good way. But it is challenging your beliefs. It's challenging the things that you've held to be true. We have a 2 of Wands with that Page of Wands. I love to see that. An Emperor reverse. And the 4 of Swords. With the star, we have the 9 of Wands. 3 of Swords and a King of Swords. Ten of Cups. Ooh, another Ace of Coins. Look at that with the Fool card. A lot of Ace of Coins. Five of Wands. Page of Swords reversed. That right there, oh my gosh, with the King of Coins, that right there is dedication. That is absolutely what is needed right now. Dedication and focus. We have the Queen of Coins as well. With the Nine of Swords. And a Six of Swords. Love to see the Six of Swords with the Chariot. Lovers. Hanged Man. A lot of major arcana for that one. And a Four of Coins. Okay, beautiful. So this is where we're going to pick up in the comprehensive. So if you want to join, again, all that information in the description box and the comment thread down below. Thank you all so much. You guys know how much I love and adore you. Have an amazing month, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your January 2023 astrological reading. So let's go ahead here and take a look. Now, we have some exciting, I actually think January is a very exciting month because we have all the planets. By the end of the month, they're all officially moving direct. And as these planets are turning around, okay, we've only got Mercury, Mars, and Uranus. So as these planets kind of finish out their retrograde journey, if you will, things are going to start operating really, really smooth. And I know, Taurus, that over the past 6 months, North Node conjunct Uranus with all the eclipses and everything happening here in Taurus and in Scorpio, that you have been really thinking about your life, where you want to go with your life, what you ultimately want in your life. You've been thinking about your soul's purpose. You've been thinking about how you can go about aligning your livelihood with what you feel is your life purpose. You've been thinking about your money. You've been thinking about yourself. You've been thinking about just your whole, like all encompassing. You've been thinking about all of life. And you've known that there are changes because Uranus demands it. Uranus and North Node demands that adjustments are made so that you can attain these goals that you have. And I think with Saturn in the 10th house, sorry, there are ladybugs all over in my house. I don't know what happened. I got home from holiday and there were like 20 up on my 12-foot ceiling, so there's like nothing I could do. But if it's like on my computer screen right now. So if I like freak out, it's because it's a ladybug. But I know that with Saturn in your 10th house, there's been a lot of struggle and a lot of resistance in terms of making something really happen, but there's been a lot of intensity in that area too. It's like, yes, I want to make something happen, but I also know there's all this stuff involved with making it happen. It's not something you can just snap your fingers and boom, there it is, because I know that what you're wanting to do is vastly different than anything you've done before. And I think Saturn, as he starts to clear out over the next few months, the things that have been set in motion since really August, you know, is really going to start to, if I could talk, you're going to actually actualize a lot of these things. And you're going to be really surprised, I think, at the rate. It's going to be fast, right? There's an acceleration happening with all these planets moving direct. I think probably end of January, February, and on into March, you'll start to really, really notice like things starting to kind of snowball in a good way, not in an uncontrollable way. So for example, January 12th, we have Mars moving direct. And I know Taurus has been very concerned about their financials, has been very concerned about, I don't know, I think Mars can often make you feel like you also want to be a leader of some kind. You want to be first. It's a very competitive planet, Mars is. And in the realm of the second house with finances and sense of self-worth and possessions. I know that Taurus is like, I want more. I want more for myself because I want to be able to do more for my community. I want to be able to help more people. And there is a spiritual notion with Jupiter coming into this 12th house. It's a very charitable place. It's a very charitable transit. For the next several months, it's not just about you, Taurus. It's not like you're not just doing these things because you are greedy and you want it. You're doing these things because you actually want to bring the world up with you. You want to teach people certain things, or you want to provide a service or provide a product or fulfill some kind of a need that actually does make the world a better place. And in so doing, you want to help yourself as well. But again, it's not with a bad intention. It's a really good intention. And everyone should rise up together. Why shouldn't you rise up? Why shouldn't you take a position of leadership or be ahead, right? Because if you've got good intentions and you're a good person and you're ahead, it does mean that you will be able to pull people up with you. And you can take that position of leadership, and you can lead through example, you can lead through motivation, you can lead through simply being and living an aspirational life, okay? And I think there's something there. And with this Gemini energy, there is a lot of movement, there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of transition and adjustments that can be made. And so all the ideas that you've been kind of collecting, when Mars moves direct, now you're going to be able to really actualize a lot. And Mercury goes direct, or stations direct rather, on the 18th. And with his retrograde here in the 9th house, there is a desire for expansion. I love the 9th house. I really, really do. The 9th house is both a spiritual and a materialistic house. And it kind of goes together here. And this is what I love, coming straight out of the 8th house, which is really where the duality goes to merge into one, which is a very painful experience. But once you have merged, this is where you are set free, in the 9th house. And so you can have spiritual expansion, which is also very well supported here with Jupiter in the 12th. You can have spiritual expansion, and you can have material expansion that goes along with that. All right. So whatever it is that you're thinking, whatever it is that you're planning, there's likely to be a reward as long as you're willing to put yourself out there a little bit, right? As long as you're willing to kind of push your own boundary just a scotch. Oh, there's a ladybug. Okay. As long as you're just willing to push the boundary just a little bit and to get out of your comfort zone just a little bit, because 9th house does want you to stretch. And the 12th house also kind of wants you to stretch as well. 12th house is also about loss and surrender and sacrifice. And when Jupiter is here, there's like an expansion of the sacrifice element. So it is probable that something has also got to go. You got to sacrifice something for the greater good. Chances are sacrificing the comfort zone is probably how it's going to be for most of you. Sacrificing the story that you've been telling yourself, sacrificing the attachment that you have to something or someone that you've been wanting to get rid of, but as a Taurus, it's hard to do that. Taurus and Scorpio both have a very difficult time really releasing. Aquarius and Leo too is fixed energies, but especially Taurus and Scorpio, because they have that density of earth and water. They're way more dense than fire and air. So when they attach to something, it is really, really hard to release and let go. And Jupiter here is kind of going to demand that that's the case. So if there's a story, if there's a narrative, if there's a fear, if there's a situation or a circumstance or whatever it is, this is your time to find freedom. But freedom probably is going to come with that feeling of like, it's more of a sacrifice. Freedom through sacrifice. But it is time with Venus, your ruling planet, coming into Aquarius, coming into this 10th house, it is your time to shine a little bit. I do want to see Taurus standing up and being strong and speaking their words and being seen. Venus loves to be seen. You know, she loves that energy, and she is a little bit, I know we always say Jupiter is the good luck token, but Venus is also a benefic planet. She is also a good luck token. And so when she's in a prominent place like that 10th house, it's very easy for you to attract a lot of great stuff. And I don't want to see you kind of hiding in any way, shape, or form, because you may be missing out on something really, really incredible. Okay. So Uranus goes direct. We've got Mars. We've got, and then we have this full moon in Cancer. That's the last thing I want to talk about. The full moon in Cancer, this is something I'm saying for everybody, is like the first full moon in 6 months where she's not conjunct any major player. Okay, because she, in July, in Cancer season, she was conjunct Pluto, then conjunct Saturn, then Neptune, then Chiron, then Uranus with the eclipse, and then Mars. Now she's free and clear. All right. And she's big and she's full. She's in her sign of rulership, and she is in a beautiful sextile with Uranus. So this full moon is very much about freedom and change, and absolutely the release. And especially for you, Taurus, because Jupiter is here kind of accentuating that release component. So there's a lot of release going on, but it's also in Cancer, which means you're very safe to do so. Right? There's a lot of security that comes through. I don't know that anything going out is really going to be at that much of a cost to you, Taurus. Okay, did I say Cancer? Did I call you Cancer on accident? I meant the full moon. I'm sorry if I called you Cancer on accident. But yeah, so this full moon is beautiful. It's really beautiful. It's very exciting. I think there's a lot of potential to really like do the final shedding or the final purge, so that as we make our way through Aquarius, as the sun makes its way into Aquarius on the 20th, then Uranus stations direct 2 days later on the 22nd. And then that final week and a half of January, as we make our way into February, everything starts going forward. And that's when we're really going to start to see something really cool changing for us, as long as we're prepared. Now, a lot of people, they're still scared. You know, if you're operating in fear, none of this is going to come to fruition. If you're making decisions because you're terrified of this other thing happening, the good stuff is it's going to be hard to come in. All right. Fear is not the best place to make decisions, because you'll be making ones rooted in a mentality of scarcity, and it probably is going to lead you down the same old path. And not a lot is going to change at all, even though your soul is like, oh, I want to expand so much. I want to grow so much. But it's up to you whether you allow that to happen or not. Okay? You are going to have to go past the comfort zone, 9th house. You're going to have to expand. You're going to have a lot of faith and a lot of trust. And you're going to have to do things that do make you feel uncomfortable. Plain and simple. If you want to be a leader of some kind, you are going to have to do things that make you feel uncomfortable. Okay? But it's going to be good. I think it's going to be great. It'll work out great for those of you who want it. Okay? All right, you guys. You know I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great January. Take care. Bye-bye.